Hi, welcome back to GS Mental Health and Wellness. My name is Geeta Sani and I am a licensed mental health counselor. Um, I hope that you've been enjoying, if you've been watching any of my other videos, I hope you've been enjoying them. So, today I'm going to talk about something that we all experience at some point or another. It's called anxiety and how mindfulness can help us with that. And awareness, right, can help us with that. So let's clarify a couple of things about anxiety first. Okay? So, one of the things I want you to understand about anxiety is that anxiety is a normal reaction to stress. And actually, some anxiety is actually good because anxiety motivates us, right? If we never felt anxiety, we wouldn't be motivated to study for a test, right? I mean, if you're giving a speech and you're a little bit nervous or stressed or anxious, right? Then you wouldn't prepare for it. You wouldn't prepare to do a good job at it, right? So there's some motivation spaces involved in it. And also, there is a space of anxiety also allows us to focus a little bit. If it can get chronic, it can, of course, overwhelm us, and we can go into a space of freeze, right, where we can't really do much and we keep procrastinating. That's if anxiety gets overwhelming, right? But a certain extent of anxiety is actually quite normal and actually helps us, right? We have these emotions for a reason, right? Now, to help with anxiety, right? How mindfulness can help with anxiety. So let's understand that. Being mindful when we are overwhelmed, right? Just watching ourselves and watching our thoughts, right? When we get overwhelmed, it's an important aspect is being mindful of our thoughts, right? I have talked about that before, right? Being mindful of just observing our thoughts, right? And when we're overwhelmed, there's so many thoughts coming in and bogging us down, and we're like, oh my god, it's too much, I can't do anything, I can't do all this, right? It is at that moment when we start to shut down basically, and we start to not want to do anything else because we feel it's too much. That is the moment where we need to step back and be mindful and do like a guided meditation to help relax us, and then come back to the task at hand, right? And kind of start to break it down in small pieces, little by little. What are the tasks that we need to do? What is being overwhelming us, right? And allowing us to break it down, right? So for example, I was very overwhelmed when I had to give a test, right? Because I was working, I was doing a lot of other things, and I had to also take a test. And so I got overwhelmed a little bit. And I started to recognize that I was being overwhelmed by it. So I started to confront it, right? Because what is anxiety? It is fear, right? Fear, and for me, it was a fear that I was going to fail. And so, because it was a fear that I was going to fail, I kept postponing studying. However, that would lead to some serious self-sabotage, right? And so I started to recognize what I was doing. I was mindful of what I was doing, right? What was going on with me. And I started to slowly but surely, even though I had a lot of work to do, right? I would start studying for 15 minutes every day. And slowly I would increase that time to 20 minutes, and then 25, and then 30, right? And then I just kept going. And I just kept studying. And then when I took the tests, I was absolutely frightened, but I took it nonetheless. And because I prepared and because I studied, I passed. Right? Sometimes the test might be too hard. You would fail too. But the moral of the story there is, what did you learn? Did you get up? Did you try again? Right? So yes, right? There is a space for us to fight back from very serious anxiety, right? Because like, remember, anxiety can cause a lot of things, right? It can cause sweating, chest pains, like you can go into like a full-blown panic attack as well, right? But we need to recognize what is going on with us and be mindful of what's going on with us. Are we afraid of something? And then start there. Instead of running away from the task at hand, right? How do we confront fear? Right? We stare it in the eyes and we do what we're avoiding, what we were avoiding, right? Because that's the only way that our brain will learn, right? If we keep running away, right, our brain does not learn to cope. We need to learn to cope in anxiety. That is where our brain learns. If you keep running away, you're telling your brain that it is scary and you can't do it, right? What do we need to tell our brain instead? That we can do it, that we can be in the distress, right? And that is where our brain learns. Hopefully that's helpful. I'll see you next time. And if you like what I'm saying, of course, please subscribe. Have a good one.